The shocking truth about 1923 Season 2 has just dropped, and it's not what we expected. The final episode has been canceled, but not in the way you might think. Fans were eagerly awaiting the explosive season finale, but what happens next may leave you stunned. The questions we've all been dying to know. Will Spencer finally return? Is Tiana going to take her revenge? And what's going to happen with Alexandra? Well, all of that just got a whole lot more complicated. What's really going on behind the scenes of 1923, and what does it mean for the future of the Dutton legacy? Stick around, because we're about to unravel everything you need to know about the most shocking turn of events this season. The unexpected news hit like a hammer. 1923 Season 2 is not going out with the bang we all hoped for. Fans were ready for what they thought was going to be a gripping conclusion to an already intense season, with 8 episodes lined up just like the first season. But in a move that caught everyone off guard, Paramount Plus quietly announced that the season finale was not only shorter than anticipated, but more devastatingly, that the final episode is, in fact, canceled. Now it's important to clarify what this means. It's not that the entire season is scrapped, but the episode we were all anticipating, Episode 8, is not going to air. Instead, Episode 7, originally planned to be a regular length, will now be extended into a feature-length episode, almost like a movie. Fans are left in shock, asking why this change was made and what the real reason behind it is. Some fans were quick to speculate that the show's producers may have decided to condense everything into one episode to save time or money, but as we dig deeper into the timeline of the announcements, things start to look even more suspicious. The truth is, this decision was made at the last minute, and it seems like there's more to this story than just a simple scheduling issue. Could there be something bigger happening behind the scenes? Initially, everything seemed clear. Season 2 was supposed to wrap up with 8 episodes, and all the official sources supported this. The IMDb page for 1923 listed Episode 8 as a part of the season until just last week. Even Rotten Tomatoes had the 8th episode listed before it was quietly pulled. But in an almost stealthy move, Paramount Plus adjusted their official website, marking Episode 7 as the final episode, leaving fans to wonder what happened to Episode 8. This sudden shift wasn't accompanied by a big announcement, but rather a quiet, behind-the-scenes change, which only added fuel to the fire of fan confusion and frustration. For some, this move feels unprofessional, and understandably so. When you're invested in a series like 1923, and you've followed the journey of these characters through thick and thin, you expect to see a conclusion that respects the story and its audience. A sudden cut to the season without any warning leaves fans wondering if the creators just ran out of time or if there's a larger issue at play. But here's where things start to get really interesting. Rumors swirling behind closed doors suggest that the producers didn't want to stretch the story out for 8 episodes in order to avoid filler content. They wanted to keep the pacing tight and focused, ensuring that every moment counted. But if that was the case, then why wasn't this decision communicated earlier? Why wait until the last minute to make such a significant change? As fans, we were promised a certain experience, a full season with a proper finale. Yet now, we're left with 1 extended episode instead of 2, and the questions are piling up faster than we can answer them. How will the story feel compressed? Will it work? Or will this rush to the finish line lead to a disappointing conclusion that fans will forever question? We know that 1923 isn't just any regular show. It's a part of the Yellowstone universe, and the legacy of the Dutton family is on the line. The stakes have always been high, and the show has managed to captivate audiences with its intense storytelling and rich character development. But this change has thrown a wrench into the works, leaving us all wondering if we're getting the closure we deserve. In the next section, we'll dive into what exactly we know about Episode 7, the new season finale, and what it might mean for the future of 1923. Why does Paramount think this feature-length finale is the solution? And could this be a sign that something much larger is happening in the Yellowstone universe? Stay tuned as we break down what's coming in the final stretch of Season 2. As the dust settles on the announcement of the shortened season, one thing becomes painfully clear. Episode 7 of 1923 will be much more than just the final episode. It's going to be a feature-length event. The question that immediately comes to mind is, will this extended finale be able to tie up all the loose ends, or will it only add more to the already growing list of unresolved questions? On one hand, a longer episode means more room to explore the storylines we've been following throughout the season, But on the other hand, it also raises concerns about whether everything can be wrapped up properly in just one 2-hour episode. After all, we've spent an entire season watching Spencer's struggles to get back home, Tiana's quest for revenge, and Alexandra's journey toward Montana. These are massive story arcs, and fans were hoping to see them come to a satisfying, coherent conclusion. Now, we're being told that all of these plot lines, plus any lingering questions, will be addressed in just one extended episode. Will it be enough? One of the most intriguing aspects of this final episode is the fact that it's being marketed as a movie rather than just a regular season finale. This approach isn't new to the Yellowstone universe. Yellowstone itself has had similar extended episodes in the past, and they've generally been well received by fans. The idea of a longer finale isn't inherently bad, but it does bring with it a whole new set of challenges. A regular length episode might have been enough to wrap up a few plot points, but an extended episode needs to deliver something far more substantial. Looking at the official description for episode 7, titled A Dream and a Memory, it's clear that there's a lot riding on this one episode. The main focus will be on Spencer's long-awaited return to Montana. For fans, this is the moment they've been waiting for all season. Will Spencer finally make it back to the Dutton Ranch after an exhausting and dangerous journey? His return could change everything, but will it live up to the immense buildup? Then, there's Tiana's story. She's been on a relentless mission for revenge throughout the season, and it seems like the finale will give her a chance to confront those who wronged her. Her fate is something fans are anxiously awaiting, and it's clear that this is one of the plot lines that needs a satisfying conclusion. Will she finally get the justice she's been seeking, or will her story be left hanging? Alexandra, too, has had her share of challenges as she journeys toward Montana, and the finale seems to be positioning her for a critical moment. What will her journey bring, and how will it intersect with the other major characters? It's clear that her story will be important, but whether or not her arc is given the space to breathe in this extended finale is another story entirely. But here's where the real concern lies. With so much ground to cover in a 2-hour finale, will the pacing suffer? Will the writers try to cram too much into one episode, leaving viewers feeling like they've missed something important? If the show fails to give each character the time they deserve, the risk of leaving major plot points unresolved could be high. There's also the danger of rushing through crucial emotional moments, which could undermine the impact of the characters' journeys. At this point, 1,923 fans have learned to expect the unexpected, and this sudden shift in the season structure is just another example of how unpredictable the show can be. Will the feature-length finale be a game changer, or will it be a rushed, half-baked attempt to wrap up a season that deserved more attention? There's no way of knowing for sure, but what we do know is that the stakes have never been higher. And let's not forget the larger implications of this extended finale for the Yellowstone universe as a whole. If 1923 Season 2 is indeed going to leave us with more questions than answers, it could be paving the way for even more spin-offs or follow-ups. There's no official word on whether the show will continue beyond this season, but as we all know, nothing in the Yellowstone universe ever really ends. Could this extended finale be the perfect setup for a future 1923 spin-off, or perhaps a continuation of Spencer and Alexandra's story? In the next section, we'll dive into how this finale might affect the larger Yellowstone universe. Could this unexpected change in the structure of 1923 be an indication of what's to come for other shows within the franchise? Stay tuned as we break down the implications of this shocking development on the future of 1923 and beyond. If there's one thing we've learned from the Yellowstone franchise, it's that nothing is ever really over. When we thought we had reached the end of Yellowstone with Season 5, the universe expanded, launching multiple spin-offs, including 1883, 1932, and the upcoming lawman, Bass Reeves. Each show has been carefully woven into the intricate tapestry that is the Dutton family legacy, and now 1923 seems to be following in the same footsteps. But what does this sudden change in 1923's Season 2 mean for its future? The unexpected cancellation of the final episode and the sudden shift to an extended Episode 7 isn't just a blip in the series. It could very well be the open. Move in something much larger? Fans have long speculated that the Yellowstone universe is building towards something bigger, an interconnected web of stories, characters, and events that will eventually form the foundation for a new era of storytelling. And now, with 1923 throwing us a curveball, it's starting to look like we might be seeing that vision come to life sooner than we expected. It's hard to ignore the growing rumors that 1923's abrupt changes are setting up future spin offs or continuations. While Taylor Sheridan, the creator of the Yellowstone universe, has made it clear that 1923 was intended to be a limited series, there's no guarantee that the show will end here. After all, Yellowstone itself was initially pitched as a one-off series, but look where we are now, with multiple spin-offs in active production. The Yellowstone universe is built on the premise that the Dutton family's story never truly ends, and it's clear that the franchise is more than happy to continue exploring new facets of their world. The shift in 1923 could be indicative of a similar strategy. Episode 7 may serve as more than just a conclusion. It could be the beginning of a new chapter. This extended finale, with its promise to tie up multiple storylines in a feature-length episode, might be a way to set the stage for future spin-offs or continuations of key characters' arcs, particularly Spencer and Alexandra. Their storylines seem too important to be wrapped up in just a 2-hour special. Fans are already speculating that their adventures could continue beyond the 1923 series, perhaps in a new spin-off that focuses on their journey after Season 2. Consider this. If 1923 ends with 223, perhaps in a new spin-off that focuses on their journey after Season 2 more questions than answers. And if the producers have made it clear that they're committed to maintaining a tight, focused narrative, what's the best way to do that without leaving fans frustrated? The answer might just lie in a spin-off that explores the unresolved elements of the show. We know that Paramount has a penchant for extending successful shows into multiple spin-offs, so it's not hard to imagine that Spencer and Alexandra's journey might take center stage in a new series, one that further explores their lives and struggles after the events of 1923. But this isn't just about one or two characters. The Dutton family saga has always been more than just about the individuals. It's about the land, the power struggles, and the legacy. The end of 1923. Season 2 could very well pave the way for deeper exploration of the themes that have defined the Yellowstone universe from the start: family, loyalty, survival, and the relentless march of history. Perhaps the show's creators are leaving the door open for future seasons or spin-offs that will dive deeper into the long-term effects of the decisions made in the series finale. This could be the beginning of something much bigger, with multiple shows and characters branching off in different directions. Moreover, there's the ongoing question of whether or not 1923 will return for a third season. Though it has been widely advertised as a 2-season series, Paramount's recent rebranding of Episode 7 as a season finale rather than a series finale has raised more than a few eyebrows. Could this mean that the door is still open for a continuation? Fans have been quick to point out that there's no official word on whether Season 3 will happen, and the mere fact that the finale is now being billed as a season closer instead of a series conclusion could mean that we haven't seen the last of 1923 just yet. This ambiguity is something that fans of the Yellowstone franchise have come to expect. Sheridan has a history of keeping audiences on their toes, and the constant shifting of timelines and character fates has made the Yellowstone universe a masterclass in suspense and surprise. The idea of an open-ended finale, one that leaves the door wide open for future developments, is something Sheridan has done before. And now, it seems he might be doing it again with 1923. Of course, there's always the possibility that this is simply the end of the line for 1923, and the producers are choosing to leave the legacy of the Duttons in the past. However, based on how Yellowstone has expanded over time, it's hard to imagine 1923 not following suit in some way. Whether it's through a spin-off, a continuation of Spencer and Alexandra's story, or a new show that picks up the threads left hanging in the finale, the future of 1923 seems far from certain. As we move into the next section, we'll dive deeper into the implications of the final episode of 1923 Season 2 on the broader Yellowstone universe. Will this unexpected turn of events change the way we look at the Dutton family's legacy? And what other storylines could emerge from the ashes of this unexpected season finale? Stay tuned as we continue to break down the mysteries surrounding the 1923 finale. The shocking changes to 1923 Season 2 aren't just about a last-minute cancellation of Episode 8 or the decision to stretch Episode 7 into a feature-length finale. This move is part of something much bigger, something that could reshape the way we view the entire Yellowstone universe and its future. But what exactly does this mean for the Dutton family legacy, and how will it impact the broader narrative of the franchise? First, let's talk about the Dutton family and their legacy, which has been at the heart of the Yellowstone universe from the very beginning. The family's story, stretching across multiple generations, has always been marked by hardship, power struggles, and sacrifices. As viewers, we've watched the Duttons navigate everything from land disputes to family betrayals, all in the name of preserving their ranch and legacy. But with the unexpected shift in 1923, fans are beginning to wonder how this will affect the overall trajectory of the Dutton family's saga. It's important to remember that 1923 isn't just a prequel to Yellowstone, it's a crucial part of the Dutton family's history. The events of 1923 set the stage for the land and power struggles we see in Yellowstone, and 1883. The choices made by Jacob Dutton and his family will have ripple effects that last for generations. And with Season 2 of 1923 now cutting short, will we have the closure we need to fully understand the Duttons' legacy at this critical juncture in history? Or will the series leave us hanging, prompting us to look elsewhere in the Yellowstone universe for answers? One thing's for sure, the abrupt changes in 1923 have ignited questions about what comes next for the Duttons. Will we get a satisfying conclusion to Jacob's story? And more importantly, how will the events in 1923 shape the future of the Yellowstone Ranch and the Dutton family's hold on power? The legacy that began in 1883, passed through 1923, and continues into Yellowstone is one of unrelenting survival. But the shifting dynamics of the shows now leave us questioning whether that legacy is as secure as we once thought. Beyond Jacob's immediate family, another key question looms large. What happens to the characters we've grown attached to in 1923? Characters like Spencer, Alexandra, and Tiana have gone through incredible trials throughout Season 2, and now, with the unexpected change to the finale, will they get the resolution they deserve? Spencer's journey to return home has been a central plot point, and fans are desperate to see him reunited with his family. But now that we know the finale will be a longer episode, we wonder, can the show truly provide the depth and closure this complex storyline requires? Or will it feel rushed, trying to tie up loose ends too quickly? As we look toward the future of the Dutton family, we also have to consider how the events of 1923 will affect the Yellowstone timeline. There's no denying that the Duttons' rise to power is at the heart of the entire franchise. From 1883, we saw the challenges the family faced in establishing their ranch, and in Yellowstone, we see the family fighting to protect what they've built. But now, with 1923 making unexpected changes, the question becomes, what's next for the Duttons after all this upheaval? Some fans have begun to speculate that the end of 1923 may not be the end of the Dutton story in this era. If we look back at the way Yellowstone has expanded into spin-offs like 1883 and 1923, it's not hard to imagine that the series could continue to evolve and branch out, just as the Yellowstone show did. The universe Sheridan has created is built on a foundation of powerful storytelling and rich characters, and it seems unlikely that 1923 will be the end of this chapter in the Dutton family saga. It's also important to consider the broader context of how 1923 fits within the larger Yellowstone universe. Sheridan's universe is known for its intricate interweaving of timelines, with characters and events crossing paths and influencing one another. What happens in 1923 doesn't just stay in 1923, it has the potential to bleed into other shows, creating opportunities for new storylines to unfold. Fans of Yellowstone know that the end of one chapter often signals the beginning of another. While Season 2 of 1923 may be shorter than we expected, it's likely to have lasting consequences for the entire franchise. The show may not just end with this finale. It could open doors for new stories that continue to explore the Dutton family's legacy in ways we haven't seen before. This brings us to the big question. What does the future hold for 1923? If the series continues to surprise us with unexpected twists and turns, it's possible that the extended finale will set the stage for more spin-offs or even a continuation of the show itself. Could we see a Spencer and Alexandra spin-off? Or perhaps a deeper dive into Tiana's character and her quest for revenge? The world of the Duttons is vast, and the stories are far from over. As we move into the final section, we'll take a closer look at how the 1923 finale might leave us on the edge of our seats, with unanswered questions that might just be the key to unlocking the future of the Yellowstone universe. Will the finale serve as a satisfying conclusion, or will it leave fans clamoring for more? Stay tuned as we analyze the implications of this unexpected finale and how it may shape the next chapter of the Dutton legacy. As we near the end of 1923 Season 2, one thing is clear. The finale is not just another episode. It's a pivotal moment in the ever-expanding Yellowstone universe. With the surprising decision to cancel Episode 8 and extend Episode 7 into a 2-hour finale, the showrunners have given us a glimpse of what's to come. And while the immediate focus is on the 1923 finale, there are broader implications for the entire Yellowstone franchise that cannot be ignored. The biggest question that hangs over 1923's finale is whether it will successfully tie up all the loose ends from the season, or if it will leave us with a sense of unfinished business that demands more. As we've seen with other shows in the Yellowstone universe, from Yellowstone itself to 1883 and the upcoming Bass Reeves, Taylor Sheridan is no stranger to leaving audiences on the edge of their seats. But as fans, we've learned that when it comes to Sheridan's storytelling, sometimes the end of one story only opens the door to many more. So, as the 1923 finale approaches, it's clear that this may not be the conclusion we expect, but rather the beginning of something even bigger. One crucial element that's been hinted at throughout 1923 is the idea of legacies, both the personal legacy of the Dutton family and the broader historical impact they have on the world around them. Jacob Dutton and his family's struggle to hold onto their land and legacy in Montana is at the heart of the series. But as we move into the finale, it's impossible to ignore the fact that 1923 is setting the stage for Yellowstone, and the ramifications of the events unfolding in this series will likely resonate through the rest of the Yellowstone universe. As 1923 Season 2 ends, it's highly likely that we'll see the Dutton family's legacy evolve in new and unexpected ways. The extended finale, promising to deliver answers to some of the season's biggest questions, might not just end the story, it could redefine the entire Dutton family narrative. Will Jacob's decisions finally solidify the family's control over the land, or will the finale leave us wondering how this all impacts the larger power dynamics we see in Yellowstone? There's a sense of urgency and impending consequence in the way the season is winding down, and it's clear that the stakes have never been higher. But perhaps more important than the conclusion of 1923 itself is the question of how this finale ties into the Yellowstone universe as a whole. The show has always been about power, how it's obtained, how it's kept, and how it's ultimately lost. The Duttons' journey is a symbol of this struggle, and while 1923 has primarily focused on the early days of their empire, it's impossible not to notice the overlap with the struggles we see in Yellowstone. Both shows